and a cap. So
you got your display case full of board games behind you. That's pretty cool.
yeah, I went through a board game collecting phase.
So this all started because I posted something, or Tara posted something about Castle Ravenloft.
Yes.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
had some of the core books. Some of the add-on books, not the core book.
What's that?
Yeah, I wanted to get it. A friend of mine has it, and I forgot how many miniatures are in there. It'd be a great starter kit for somebody who wanted to have some miniatures.
Yeah.
I'm sure
And I have a bunch of modules like Ravenloft, I guess, was sort of expanded or came out of there it is.
Curse of Strahd, sure.
Curse of Strahd. So I have both the book and I've got the modules in Tramps of the Grounds.
Oh, great. Well,
and I think I mentioned that, yeah, we could, I mean, there's other platforms, but this is the one I'm most familiar with. One of the first ones out, most familiar. It's one I started out with, and it's kind of a money sink too. It's like once you get so invested in it, it's like I've got add-ons and books and that sort of thing, all the modules. If you glance at on your system, you should have a library.
Yeah, I see it.
Things available for you there. A lot of the standard books, the player's handbook and all of that. It's not as easy as I'll still often just keep, because I got them right here, I'll just grab the paper book and flip through it to find an answer.
Yeah, I see here Elemental Evil, Player's Handbook, DMG, Tasha, and Xanathar.
Yeah.
So you can decide how many a player can see.
Right, yeah. Set all kinds,
that's pretty cool. So you can say, well, we're going to use Xanathars this time, but not Tasha, and then like...
Exactly, yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
I got all of those because I've had players at one point, one very detailed, knowledgeable player, and he's like, I want to play this specific oddball race that was, outlined in some obscure, new book. I'm like, okay, let me get that. Sure, yeah.
Well, I did read Xanathars, not cover to cover, but that was one of the supplements that I read when it first came out because everybody was raving about it. And there was this great rogue class. I think it was the College of Whispers. It was called.
Oh, yeah.
And I just loved the idea of this one spell about inducing fear. And it was like, I did a video which was like... how I would play it. So you're sitting in the tavern and you're talking to the NPC and you're saying things like, spiders. Yeah, the thing about spiders is they've got all those legs and they've got all those eyes, and they've got those pincers, and those and the thing is, you're never more than 3 feet away from a spider at any given time, and just like supplanting these little things. And then at some point later, you can activate that fear, like you instill basically a phobia in them. And then later you can go and activate it. So say you go to, they go home, you follow them home and you want to break into their house, you can make them, run away screaming because you say like some key word that it's almost like hypnosis, like a suggestion, like hypnotic suggestion, which I thought was like a really cool way to play
a cool mechanic,
charismatic character,
I like that a lot.
Yeah. So, but I don't have that trait, so I don't think in my rogue. I don't remember. I think he's just a halfling rogue. So.
Okay, man. You want to get started?
Yeah, let's get started. What do we do? Okay, great.
All right.
So do I pull my characters up to the top here by clicking on them, each one?
Yeah. You can open them up if you want. And
all right.
oh yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to learn some of the mechanics, I think. So.
Oh, don't worry. Yeah, that's what I had to brush up on too. It's been a while, so I was like, combat's probably the most complex, and that's why I was running your characters through combat, and I'm like, wait, he doesn't have any weapons.
Oh, good.
So that was
call.
I was just like brushing up on it.
Good call.
There you go. Cool.
All right, they're all.
Yeah, they show up on my screen as well, top corner.
Great. All right.
So, excuse me for reading pieces and improvising other pieces as we go. So there's sort of there's guides to it. Looks like Rebecca's coming in. Cool.
Yep, that's cool.
She was just curious, has been curious about this. And whenever I was telling her, just running it with you.
No, I think it's great. Yeah.
And oh, I should say for the record tour, you're going to edit all of this as well.
Yeah.
This campaign, it's not even a campaign. I would classify this as a one-off in D&D parlance.
Mm-hmm.
And one-off campaigns are just sort of, they can be concepts that a DM wants to play with. Hey, I want to try this idea out, and that's kind of what this is.
Cool.
I've run other campaigns for people and tried to run like Strahd and that sort of thing, but they are very long term. It's like months and months to get realistically to get through it.
It's hard to get enough people together on common nights and days. And the thing is,
even online, yeah.
I think what happens is, for me personally, you know, you're sitting there with 4 or 5 people. Combat takes longer. You don't get as many chances to like make your characters do what you want them to do. I prefer one-offs. In fact, that's when I DM. That's what I like to write. I like to write one-day scenarios because. So
I was struggling with you know they each one kind of fell apart at one point or another. We tried different campaigns, and mostly I've started doing some analysis, thinking about what's good, what's bad about them. Mostly it's the long term, the length of them. And as you get older, you don't have 6 or 8 hours to dedicate to let's play D&D today. What's the Netflix movie show now with the kids playing D&D? You don't have that anymore when you're not 14 to be able to sit for 6 hours.
Yeah.
Stranger Things.
Yeah.
But I mean, you used to do that, but adults have a harder time getting together like that, like you said. So this evolved. I said, there's got to be a way to do something that you can get in, get out. Just in a couple of hours at best. Cool. And that's what these are geared for. I found a guy that was providing them free ones. And so I took those. They were just in PDF kind of format or just an email format, and broke them apart and put them into the modules in Fantasy Grounds. Mm-hmm. Took the images that it made. Some give full credit to them. I like the theory that he's doing. It's arranged more by scenes, so it's more like a play.
Nice.
And you walk through, and he's broken it down with descriptors and sections to each scene, and it's kind of a neat idea. And so you're my experiment.
Oh, that's perfect. That's great. No, that's great because I'm experimenting with OBS for the first time. I've never used that. I'm experimenting with Fantasy Grounds for the first time as a player, so I've never used that. So this is great. I think that's great. So we can mess around and
if this works, I'll do one of my startup. Work on some of my own like that, and just put it into this kind of I like the way it's set up, and
The other thing we have to be aware of is there's a timer on Zoom.
Oh yes.
Only because I have the free account. So since there's 3 of us, we will eventually get kicked off at about 40 minutes, and then we'll have to sign back in. But that's all.
Okay, we can deal with that when that happens.
Good.
At least it's not the game itself being hosted, so it'll just the video will drop out for a bit. And
then we'll have to all sign in again.
Yep. No worries.
Cool.
Okay. So, one of your characters, doesn't really matter which one, is, we'll call him the main. So I'm telling this sort of from his perspective as you're walking through.
That'd be Bomber. He's the
Bomber. I kind of figured it.
Halfling
like your
rogue. He was the first one.
He was very fleshed out. Yeah. So Bomber is walking through. Classic tavern setup, and just looking to get a drink, get a meal at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. And as he's walking past tables, you are overhearing bits and snippets of conversation, and he walks past one rather long table with several people seated at it, and that's your group seated there. And he hears them discussing. He's like, you overhear pieces. So 2 casks of oil, a buttered piece of bread, and a wet sock. That's all you need. And you go for why he catches his ear and he's walking past them. And another one is saying, so I pushed this skinny little orc, and I shit you not, he fell apart and 3 goblins ran off in different directions. And that sort of really intrigues you. And he's starting to listen to the conversation. They notice that you're listening to them, and one of them is more scholarly type. High elf, which you find kind of odd sitting with such a mixed group here. He says, hey, you, come over here. Settle a bet. What do you call a group of owlbears? A sleuth or a parliament? And that sort of draws you into the conversation as you begin debating the merits of sleuth versus Parliament. And your discussion gets more and more involved, and you realize you all have you're all relatively local, this area, and have each has lived here, but you really haven't crossed paths before. You've gone in different directions now, in different races, as it were, too. As you're sitting there arguing and discussing, you see a rather large gentleman walk into the tavern, in a very commanding kind of presence, thick red hair, just tall, and you know him by reputation more as the local baron, Rennick, or Rennet, I believe is his name. Yes, Henrik Rennet, local baron. And he's walking through, and he notices your table, notices all of you. He's just sort of assessing everybody as they come in, and eyes turn towards him because he is known in the area, generally known as a fair and good leader. He seems a little distraught. He runs his hands through his hair a lot. He seems a little put out. He comes to your table and he says, "I recognize you. You've been around here before. I wonder if I might have a word with you." And he asked if he could join you for a moment, or if he could have a word and talk with you for a second.
We'd be honored. I'd be honored.
So he says, "Well, thank you." And he comes in and sits down, and he says, "I have a need of that. He says, my wife, she's missing.
Oh my!
She went to a ball several days ago, a week or so ago, and still has not returned. It was only supposed to be an overnight, just go, spend the next day, come back. I sent a rider to Moldavia as another local lord that on basically on the other side, another day's travel or so. I sent a rider, and he has not returned. And I am beside myself. It will take time to go to the nobility, and to muster a constabulary, or to muster the forces. I'd rather, if one disappears, that's unusual. My wife disappearing or not returning is unusual. A single rider disappearing, it could be bandits, wolves, bears, whatever along the way. I need to know what's going on. I'd like to, would you be interested in helping me with this?
Yes, I feel for you. I don't know what's I'm honored to meet you. First of all, I've heard great things about you, and I'm honored that you would even approach us to trust us with this task.
Well, of all the group in here, of all the tables, you seem to be the most competent. The rest of the tables are varying degrees of drunk or falling, or older, younger.
Oh, we just
got. You seem to be the best. You seem to be the best of the best here. And as I said, I can't muster to muster forces from my lord would take time. I'd rather send a group out.
Like a sleuth of
with a better chance of returning.
Yeah, we'll be your sleuth of owlbears for this mission. Absolutely.
I'll meet you, or meet me later at my estate. And he makes a motion to the bartender that he's got your tab for this table. So he's covering your meals, covering your bill, basically.
Yeah.
He's I will expect you then at my estate later. And he makes his way out.
Wow, that's something else. So are the people at the table the rest of the metagaming?
Oh, they all, yeah, you all agreed, and yeah.
But they're the rest of my party.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. This was your group.
Great. And the old man, the old high elf, that's one of my characters.
That's
as well. That's Legless.
Zinnick, your wizard.
That's the wizard.
Yes.
Zilix. All right, cool. Oh yeah, he is a high elf. All right, great.
It's an odd collection of people. So it was fun. I think.
Yeah, it's group. Bizarre. So, well, that was just I was just playing with different classes. All right.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. So Bomber wants to order something to go from on the tab because that's the kind of guy he is. And Zillix is like, look, we don't want to take advantage here. And Bomber's like, look, he has so much money. You know, he doesn't know what to do with it. Plus, we're going to be going on a mission, and we're going to need to eat.
Sustenance.
Yes. What about second breakfast?
Exactly. You've got Took in there. Yeah. What about second dinner?
So, all right. Yeah. Let's get it together and let's go see what he has to say. So, okay. Zillix, you know, I think Zillix would say, look, grab some gear. You don't know if he's going to send us out immediately after he kind of gives us the briefing. So let's not waste any time here. So
it is water. So
the rest of the guys are they're pretty well equipped, I think, because they just came back from the mission they were bragging about.
Yes.
So everybody's got their gear and we're ready to go. So let's go to the estate.
So you go to the Henrik Rennett's estate. Relatively close. It's a small village. He's at one end. His manor house, rather, is at one end. And you're shown in by some of the help. Shows you in, escorts you in. And the Baron is sitting on his chair at a table with his head in his hands, and he's just sort of anxious beside himself. He just says, I'm nothing without her. We've been together. She helps me run this whole, the villages. She helps me run this barony. And he is really upset, taken, doesn't know what to do with himself. Says something about being without Eleanor. I'm a lion made into a mouse. He basically is lost. So he says she attended a mask, as I said, at Count Libram Moldovia's estate. This is Moldovia Manor. It was several nights past. She should have returned. It was an overnight, a day's trip there, party, and a day's trip back. She should be here. She hadn't turned up. I sent a rider to check on her. That rider has not returned either, and I fear the worst. Moldovia already has, there are rumors about the ascension that's gone on there. The son has recently taken over. The father died, and if you ask me, the father's name was Fortuno. And Fortuno, it wasn't exactly mysterious, but we were of the same age. He should not have died suddenly. It's very unlikely. There's a lot of whispers among the nobility that something is probably amiss there.
So Fortuno was
the father.
The father of
Libram now is the son who's taken over.
Okay.
And it's a suspicious situation, and he's just worried if that has anything to do, or if there's anything going on there that it might have spilled over and Eleanor might be involved in it. She went only out of a sense of duty to this ball. It was to celebrate Libram's ascension. And she went just out of a sense of duty to attend this ball, this mask.
So Zillix is looking around the room. There are portraits on the wall?
Ah, yes, yes.
So we know what Eleanor looks like.
You know what Eleanor looks like. She's a very striking lady, yes. Okay. Let's say red hair, distinctive okay. Features, tall, similar to Heinrich.
Okay.
Where Heinrich is tall and muscular, she's an equally tall, auburn reddish hair as well.
Got it. All right.
So yeah, he's just really he's excited. He's happy that you're going to assist him with this, and asks if you have any questions or any further questions. He's tried to fill you in on the history and
Right.
everything that's going on.
So there's possible usurper. There may be foul play involved, and we have no idea how Eleanor may have gotten accidentally mixed up in this.
Right. Or what the situation is. He's heard nothing. So.
I'll say, let's say Jane. Jane speaks up and says, "Do you have any horses?"
Absolutely. I will equip you. In fact, they're being readied as we speak. And you see horses being led past the windows out to the front for you.
There's not a moment to lose then.
Very good.
Zillings agrees, although you can tell Zillings is trying to figure out, he wants to ask more questions. But, all right, yeah, I say the party leaves. I say the party gets to the horses. Let's go.
He does say, since this is a mask, or this was a masked ball.
Yeah.
He describes the mask that she would be wearing.
An owlbear mask.
Perfect. It is rather, isn't it?
Well, we shall sleuth this out for you.
Okay.
By any chance, does the Moldovan government have a parliament?
No, we're all barons.
Okay.
Of our own little
I see.
Little
Okay.
fiefdoms.
Gotcha.
But all answering to the greater nobility.
Okay.
And that's part of the problem and mustering anything from the greater nobility would take time. So.
Gotcha.
He's appealing to locals to give him a hand.
That makes sense. All right. Well, we'll do what we can to find out what's going on, and we'll bring your wife back.
Very good.
We promise.
So you do travel. You start out. Takes you most of the day. You basically follow. You generally know the area. You gave the directions to Moldovia's manor, and you've a very uneventful ride. There were no signs of any grief along the way. No signs of bandits.
Okay.
No trails off into the woods, or just.
It's a pretty straight shot.
Pretty straight shot. The road was at least safe.
Okay.
There was no indication of any predators or anything like that as you travel.
We didn't find any bloody carcasses on the side.
No carcasses.
Gotcha.
Right, exactly.
So we're assuming she made it to the ball.
And it's going in. It's beginning to become. It's getting darker as you arrive. As you come up, as you approach the manor house. So
it must have been quite some party.
It's a weathered and very gloomy manor. Kind of sits back among some dense, sickly-looking trees, and you notice mold and moss is collecting along the stone walls and under the eaves. As you look at this, it's really not 2 floors. It's very tall rooms inside. Tall windows ring the manor walls. The front door is closed, and you can see off to the side, off to one side, stables and outbuildings. You can see it through the gloom, the gathering gloom. They lurk along this tree-lined, tree-covered path. And you can hear to the other side, to the right, to your right, sounds of a pond, frogs and such, water, birds and things.
Let's approach the manor.
For you.
Yeah. I'm just gonna ride right up to the manor.
So you should have the. Oops. Didn't need to make them larger. There we go. So you should be able to magnify that, or I can always just zoom in and reshare. There is a little icon in the lower right corner on the map. If you click that and move your mouse around, it'll scroll within that zoom level. Or you can.
Oh, I see.
I
have to close. Okay, I gotcha. So I need to close all these windows here.
Yeah, this becomes filled very quickly.
No, that's good. I see. Okay, gotcha.
And it should just be revealing the area, sort of a small area. You're only seeing the front part of the building. Path to the left, that's where you can make out outlines of what looks to be stables and some outbuildings. To the right, edges of a pond.
I'm going to walk right up to the front door of the manor. I think Bomber will go first.
Okay, you can actually drag your character forward up to it.
I don't see the manor. I don't see anything but black. Is that
oh
right? Is that okay?
Let me see. Hold on a second. I'm setting your characters to.
There you go. Okay, gotcha.
Sorry about that. They were still marked.
No, that's okay. So Bomber's going.
So you should be able to drag them.
Yeah.
Perfect. Oh, neat. Okay.
Is that
Like
am I doing this right or no?
I was expecting just a pop, but it's saying looks like you can check. You can click the checkbox and say, okay.
Hit checkbox.
Are you getting a checkbox on it or no? If not, oh no, I do that. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a checkbox. Oh, so I propose the movement and then you approve it.
Yeah, interesting. Okay. Like I said, this is a
kind of cool. That way you can keep your players on a tether so they don't go wandering off somewhere you don't want them to see yet.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a surprise or something. That's pretty cool. Oh, neat. And then I can.
This also allows, does shadows.
Yeah.
But I have to designate things that would block vision.
Sure. So that'd be like fog of war kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And now I can sort of unfog areas. Let me see. Oh, right there.
Oh, cool. I just double click on him and boom. There he goes.
Oh.
So Bomber wants to go right up and open the door. Zilling says, Bomber, hold your horses. And he casts Mage Hand to try the doorknob.
Ah, okay.
So let's see.
What I'm trying to do is figure out I can reveal the fog here.
Okay.
I'm just trying to remember how I do that.
So since Mage Hand's a cantrip, I don't have to do anything. Like I don't have to.
Oh, correct.
There's no spell slot.
Oh, there we are. Okay.
Okay. Whoops. Get up there, Legolas.
There we go.
Oh, so I see. So you got like.
So did it reveal more then for you?
Well, what it revealed is it looks like there's like an umbra and then a penumbra. So it looks like there's like heavy dark and then mild dark. So if you have dark vision, you can probably see.
Oh, interesting.
Half light.
Yeah, as you click on each one.
Yeah, it looks like that kind of thing to me.
Let me see. Out of mask mode, I didn't click his. Okay.
And now the shadows are moving.
There you go.
So it's more like as if the moonlight or the sunlight is.
Yeah. So it's sort of like centered on you, and it's.
Oh, I see. That's what happened. So there's more. I see. Wow. So that's like cover.
A little more around the building.
How cool is that?
Okay, right. So you try the door. You try Mage Hand on the door.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Mage Hand is only good for about 10 pounds, but yes, it seems like the door is unlocked.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a rather large door.
Well, the door won't move, but it seems unlocked. Yeah. Okay.
It seems to be unlocked, yes.
Jane gets impatient and just says, "Arr!" And he goes up and opens the door.
Very good.
Or attempts to open the door.
The door does open for you.
Okay.
And a room is revealed inside. And let me get to here. So you're in the entrance hall, or you can see into an entrance hall.
Mm-hmm. No, Jane just walks through.
Okay.
Yeah. He's like, bah. Bomber's close behind. Took will go over this way.
It is dark inside, so you do have only light from the outside, you have dark vision as well. So
do all of them have dark vision?
That I'm not sure.
Let me see Jane, because he's a human, and humans don't normally have dark vision. So I want traits, right? Skills. No, not skills. That would be under abilities.
So as you enter the room, you do notice you notice a body laying right by the door.
Oh my!
There's a marker there for him.
Humanoid with raw circular wound on its back. Ow.
Dressed in kind of looks like probably one of the partygoers. The robes are shredded. There's a huge wound, plate size, probably dinner plate size wound on his back.
Oh my!
He's kind of face down, clutching a wine bottle, and he does stir, moves as you come in. He is obviously very drunk, and obviously nearly dead too. It's a massive wound on him. Doesn't look like any kind of a warrior or anything like that.
Bomber kicks the bottle out of his hand and says, "Don't you think you've had enough, lad?" Zilling says,
he's slowly kind of scrambling, laughing at himself, and clutches after the bottle again. He's, you don't understand. That's Amontillado. Amontillado wine. I love the word, but it's a Amontillado wine. You don't understand. It's Amontillado wine, you craven dwarf. And he's, I thought you appreciated good liquor. And this is a fine vintage, and it was amazing that Libram was able to get it. And he's just mumbling all of this.
Bomber's not
and
real
while
smart.
He's muttering to himself, he's also talking about the crazy, the monsters, and there are. He's sort of between laughter and muttering to himself. He's saying things about the beasts in the cellar and the beating of that heart. He's make it stop. and he's sort of laughing to him, takes another swig and just sort of laughs, and he's kind of useless.
Yeah. Bomber takes the bottle of Amontillado. He rolled a 2 on an intelligence check. He has no idea what that is.
Oh, true. Yes. So if you, for anybody doing that, you can do like a history check.
Yeah.
And you do that on your character sheet.
Oh, right. Okay.
So you can do that. Actually, you can get it quickly. Click on your icon at the top, and for ability or skills rather.
So we go to history.
And then I could just do and he's got a nice.
I just click on it, and then you rolled. Okay.
You can roll. I was just.
No, I don't care. I was just wondering what I do. So I've got my character sheet up. I've got history, but.
Oh, and there's a icon next to it. Looks like a little.
Grab the die.
Where it says +5, you can grab that dice or just double click on the number there.
Only records which you own can be shared. Only records which you own can be shared.
So to make if you're doing like an intimidation check, you could just double click on somebody looking at Bomber.
Just double click on it.
And that'll roll the dice too. Or click and drag. It'll pick up the dice and you'll be able to drop it.
Let's see. Nope.
Where it says total, basically, that column, those numbers.
Oh, where it says total. Oh, so over my modifier.
Right.
I see.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, he rolled a 2 again, so he has no idea.
Bomber doesn't have a clue, but you could try somebody like Links.
Zilling says, "Give that bottle to me.
Let me see the label.
Ignorant dwarf." Yeah. So, all right. So Zillings will move into the room, and he'll take a shot at history, you say?
Yeah.
Oops. Nope. I've never seen this vintage before.
Never heard of it before. Anyone else can try to. Let's say DC 12.
Where's the elf? Maybe it's elven wine, he says. And takes a shot at it under. It's
Yay.
15.
He says, yes, it is a rare elven vintage. They don't often trade it. It's a surprise to see it here. And that's what the drunk is just like, yes, of course, that's what I said. He goes and grabs the bottle back. Yes, it is very rare. It's incredible that Libram was managed to get a hold of this.
Jane's
don't
like,
spill anymore.
what happened to your back?
He starts muttering, puts his head down, starts muttering again about the beasts in the cellar. And he's just on the edge of losing his mind. And he's like, the heartbeat again. Don't you hear it?
Where's the cellar? We ask. Jane asked him, "Where's this cellar you're talking about?"
He says, they came from the floors. They came up through the building.
All right, so
back there, and just muttering to himself about the beasts.
Zillings wants to do a investigation check, I guess. He wants to look for holes in the floors surrounding him, like in this room right here.
In this room, you don't really know. Yeah,
you don't see any holes in the floor.
No.
All right.
Basically, this room just has it's dark tapestries, curtains, some suits of armor, decorative pieces.
Yeah.
There's a passage leading, basically north, we'll call it. I think the map is actually twisted, but we'll call it north because north is up.
Okay. Yeah, it's always up.
Yeah.
And then so Took starts heading off towards the back, and trying to investigate further. I just got a notification that Zoom's going to kick us out. So.
Oh, okay.
I really got to upgrade my account. All right, so should we take a break, re-sign in on Zoom?
Yeah, we can reset and sure.
All right, sounds good.
I'll leave this.